So from floods in Pakistan to severe snowstorms in Europe, examples of extreme weather have been numerous in 2010. To give us an idea if these incidents are connected to climate change, we're joined by Rick Piltz. He's director of the independent advocacy group Climate Science Watch. Can we make a definitive connection between the extreme weather we've seen and climate change?
Global warming or global heating is causing changes in the weather. So the weather we get is a combination now of the natural variability and the human-caused global climatic disruption. But this year, we've had a lot of really extreme weather, including in 19 countries the all-time high temperature record. That includes, for example, Pakistan, Iraq, Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and countries all over the world. Would we have seen that if the greenhouse gas in the atmosphere was at the pre-industrial level? Not very likely.
But can that, well, is there enough scientific evidence, though, to finally say to those who continue to resist the climate change as a man-made phenomenon, is enough to convince them that they're wrong?
Well, what we're doing is we're changing the odds. We're loading the dice. Maybe 2011 will be a little milder. Maybe we won't have quite so many extremes, but over time, what we're likely to see 20 years down the road is likely to make 2010 look tame by comparison.
Because
we're changing the odds.
You'll be aware more than anyone, I suppose, that already in the US, because of this snowstorm, people are saying, well, clearly global warming doesn't exist.
Right, we have a snowstorm and they say, yeah, what happened to global warming?
Right.
As if this is a scientific perspective. Actually, some of the recent scientific research is pointing to what some people are calling the warm Arctic cold continents phenomenon. With the melting of the Arctic ice, the ocean is adding heat to the atmosphere, and the warmth over the Arctic is pushing that jet stream down into the mid-latitudes and bringing some Arctic air down into North America and Europe. And so it's not just global warming, it's global climate disruption, and we will see these kinds of things.
All right, so let's face it then, that there is a consensus that that climate change is a man-made phenomenon, and yet we've just had a huge summit in which basically very little was done to address climate change. We have another one coming up in Durban in 2011. Is there any reason to hope for anything different there?
Well, in Cancun, at the conference of the parties to the climate treaty that concluded this month, I guess you can say the glass is part full and still quite a bit empty. They created, the UN multilateral process did not go completely off the rails. There is an agreement to create a green climate fund and a number of mechanisms and institutions under which you would have commitments. Meanwhile, the temperature keeps rising. Right? Yes, of course. So I would say, looking forward to Durban, the devil is in the details, because they left all of the major political, legal...
Wouldn't we be doing better to actually prepare for a catastrophic climate change instead of preparing for another
You do
convention?
have to prepare. You have to simultaneously be working to reduce your emissions and prepare to try to adapt as best you can to climate change that is already in the pipeline. I would say follow the money in terms of the follow-up from Durban, from Cancun, as to whether developed countries are actually going to follow through.
But might it not be better just to leave the US out of this altogether, perhaps?
Well, I would like to see some of the emerging economic powerhouses in other parts of the world move ahead with clean technology and adaptive preparedness on their own. The US may find that it's in a catch-up position because of the way the right wing is adopted climate change denialism in this country, and you can't go forward if Congress won't appropriate the funds and agree to the treaties. The U.S. is not going to be in the lead on this, I'm afraid.
Rick Piltz, thank you very much.